We want to welcome you this evening to the McDowell County Republican Primary Candidate Forum. This segment of the forum will be addressing the county commissioners, candidates, and the issues at hand. The first candidate to be asked a question tonight is Matt Crawford. Matt, recreation has been discussed as an area that needs additional resources. What do you think the county can do to improve the overall recreation opportunities for the citizens?
Thank you, Chet. One of the big things that's took place in the county over the past several years is a partnership between the city of Marion and McDowell County. And if you're not familiar with our greenway system, it is a great opportunity to get your family and your pets out and exercise outside. And I see that there's improvements already in place, and that's something that we can continue working with grant money to make that the greenway a bigger opportunity. The next thing is our county recreation facility. Watching the last commissioners meeting, I know that one of the things they're getting ready to try to do is open up a summer day camp. That is something positive for our community. We get an after-school program, so we can get our kids into a recreation facility and working out and having fun, being with a structured environment, but they were also going to take time in the schedule to work with education and make sure that they're doing their homework. Adult programs, I see that we're getting ready to start a softball league, and that'll be interesting because I can remember going to some church league softball leagues and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Anything that we can do to get people out in the sunlight and having fun and spending time with family is something that we really need to focus on. And a job as a county commissioner is we need to help the recreation department and their leaders out when they have something that they want to try to do for the community. It's our job to try to make sure it happens any way that we can, and look for those grant programs that we can possibly find some money to help these programs out, to try to help with our, our budgets and so forth. But try to do our best for what we can for our county so we can get them out and playing and get them out working out and having a good time with their families. Thank you.
Thank you. The next candidate who has 1 minute is Tony Brown. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Matt. That was good. Recreation is a vital tool to the youth of McDowell County, and I think that keeping them busy is a way to keep them out of trouble. One of the most important things that we can do, in my opinion, is starting out to find out what is good for youth and what youth want. Just simply ask them. Do a little survey with the youth and ask them what they'd like to have, and then we can build off of that. We need to seek the grants. I think it's already been mentioned. There's grant money out there. We need to work hard to seek that and try to work that in. It's an important issue. I know that currently there's the Kate B. Reynolds Trust Fund, and there's about $100 million to be spent in that trust fund for this and for different areas, projects, and I think the Greenway project is great. The trails that have been done, I think part of that money was even used over at Faith Community Church in the youth park that they have over there. But it's been a good thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. That minute flies by. Next, Jake Asta.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. I just want everyone to give themselves a pat on the back because you are the informed public. We have to reach out to the uninformed. As a party, that's what we have to do. Now, getting down to the question, it's quite simple. We're here to improve the quality of life of our seniors. We'd like to meet their basic needs and to allow them to remain independent as long as possible. That is what our goal is for our senior citizens. I see them come by the bowling center. I bowl with them on Wednesday morning. I'm actually a senior myself, believe it or not. And the gray hair shows it. And I understand what the seniors need to continue to have a fulfilled life, and bowling is a good part of it. You ought to try it yourself. Thank you very much.
The next candidate, David Walker.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here tonight. As a commissioner, I want to point out several things regarding the rec program in McDowell County. First of all, I would like to invite everybody to come tomorrow morning. We're going to have at 10:30 a city versus county shootout, and we're going to dedicate the renovations at our gym: new scoreboard, new flooring, new ceramic tile entryway, and then we're going to do other projects that we're going to do to enhance our gym area. So you're all invited to watch the county beat the city in a little head-to-head competition, 3-point shootout, layup drill, and foul shooting contest. I'm proud of the fact that the county has put a major emphasis on recreation. Recently, we have purchased the Maple Leaf Ball Field Complex. We did that several years ago. We've built new restrooms for our use of the citizens up there at the rec park. We are partnering daily with the city and the Cape B Reynolds Group on the extension of trails in McDowell County. Currently, 2 and 3 phases of the trails have been completed at our YMCA. And I see old, young, middle-aged, everybody's using those trails, and that's a very good thing for our county. And
Thank you, David. Next, Lynn Green.
Thank you, Chet. As already been mentioned about the Greenway and the partnerships for the day camps for kids, all of those things are good things as long as we have those folks in place and hold them accountable to make sure that those programs don't fall by the wayside. And I think as the Board of Commissioners that we need to make sure that we put the proper people in place to make sure that those programs continue and that our money is not wasted by those things that, well, you understand what I'm trying to say. When the other people come in and maybe just start changing things without us knowing about it, then the programs that we funded fall by the wayside.
Thank you, Lynn. Tom Fleming.
Well, I think that parks is a good place to go for people to enjoy themselves, and especially having the fields like where they could play softball or basketball or any other types of ball. I'd also like the idea of a park is where people can go and probably have a tennis court and things like that. Like I had said, it is a place for people to go to enjoy themselves. However, there's one drawback, a bit concerned to me about the parks. And in some instances, there's predators and child predators hanging around. And we need to protect those people from people like that. But other than that, I think the recreation is a good thing, and the parks, walking trails, and everything would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Okay, that went without incident. That was good. We're through question 1. Question number 2, Mr. Brown. The county purchased the Universal property to develop an economic training and recruitment facility. The project has already become an income generator. The partnership has increased the community college by more than 30% in floor space and created an area for high-tech manufacturing and industrial training. What do you think the county can do to use this facility to recruit new industry? 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chet. The Universal property was a great investment for the county, and I say hats off to the guys that were involved in seeing that come through. It's been a really good thing. As a matter of fact, it generates about $350,000 a year to the county, and actually $425,000 before the cost of running it is impaired. But that was a good thing, and that annual $350,000 is very valuable. We have one of the greatest recruiting facilities in the state in that building. We've got 50,000 square feet of training area that, belongs to the county. And no other county in the state of North Carolina has that. I think that's a wonderful thing. And it also has $100,000 square feet of available floor space for industry. And that's another big plus for the county. This site is ready footage. It's ready for use for any prospective business. I will speak. It will speak for itself in everything that it's done and shown us. It has the capability of education, training, and potential business, and that's important to us. The area is available to bring in any new business, and we can work as hard as we can to. We will work as hard as we can to see that happens, that area is filled up. as a small business owner, I have an eye for that kind of thing, and what would be a sound investment. This was a sound investment, and with that in mind, I personally think that the county did well, and I think that my years of experience in business management and running small business I would be an asset to the board in that sense for helping the county be ready to spot such program or such places that we can get and help the county out in that sense. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony. Jake Asta, 1 minute.
Thank you. This is a no-brainer. This was a great move for our county. What we do is on the board is to lead the county through its paces by performing networking. Networking is the key. You get together with people I know people up and down the coast. Joe knows people all around the state. Vance knows people all around the world. We get these people, these great minds together, and we make policy. That's what we do on the board, okay? And then we get the people to rally behind the idea, and we accomplish the goal. We set the goals and objectives and accomplish the goal. That's how it's done, okay? Somebody like Vance has experience with this. He went into, with his former business, he went into where they were doing a nuclear power plant, got together with the local community colleges, developed the curricula to support the business, to bring the businesses in. That's one of the things we have to do. Thank you.
Next, David Walker.
One thing that's very important when you're looking at recruitment of industry is the infrastructure. You have to have the infrastructure in place. The county purchased the land for the future water filtration plant. I believe strongly in getting water lines in the ground. When the industries look at us, they see that we're ready for them and we're accessible. The products and services they need are there. I'll speak real quick because I've got to talk quick because we only have a minute right here. As far as Commissioner Creative Ways, what are we going to do to recruit or also maintain or keep the current industry we have? First of all, you need to be creative. Number one, I'm for jobs, have been, will be. I support all efforts to recruit business to this county and support our local guys. One thing you do is offer free space in county-owned buildings for a prospective company. Second thing you can do is offer tax breaks based upon the company's investment in machinery and equipment. You can do that as a commissioner. You can run the water and sewer and natural gas to the site. You can seek state grants to help pay for these products. You can use an asset like our community college to set up on-the-job training skills that a specific company may need that's looking to locate here in McDowell County. Or
thank you, David. Sorry. Lynn Green.
Thank you, Chet. As a board member, I think that I would support a committee that its sole purpose would be to go out and to locate those industries and manufacturers that would be wanting to come to Western North Carolina and convince them through our incentives and through tax breaks, grants, whatever we can offer, that their best decision would be to locate in McDowell County. And further, to use that building at Universal to train our young people to take on those jobs that we would be looking to bring here.
Thank you, Lynn. Tom?
Well, I think the facility could be used for a lot of on-the-job training for high-tech jobs. And when a new industry comes to McDowell County, the building could be used to train them for the job at no, probably in some cases, no cost to the potential employees. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Matt.
Dealing with the Universal property, it's pretty simple to me. The outcome of this will depend on McDowell Tech. And being able to, that partnership that we have with McDowell Tech, having high quality training programs, that we train people using that facility. And also we got to make sure that we keep that facility up and running and make sure it's top notch the whole entire time. So that when people do come and see it, they see a great facility now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. It's a good program. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Jake, this is your question, 3 minutes, okay? McDowell County has an excellent network of public safety agencies that include our sheriff's office, fire service, and emergency medical services. We hear candidates say, "I support public safety." What does that statement mean to you?
Wow, 3 minutes. I think number one is to protect the public. That's really what the job and the role is. What I noticed about our infrastructure that was alluded to is when I first moved to this county, I noticed we don't have shoulders, and in some areas we don't have guardrails. There's sheer drops. It looks pretty scary. I noticed someone on the way to my house in Nebo, they put up railroad ties in front of their house to keep somebody from ending up in their living room. Where I come from, they would move whole road beds to satisfy the safety for the public. One of the things I also noticed is like I'm driving to work and I'm in a long line of cars and some guy's on a motor scooter who had a DUI and puts everyone at risk because they're passing him on a double yellow, and that's scary. Somebody could be coming out of their driveway, didn't actually look both ways, and you have a wreck. Especially on the U.S. highway, we really need to make our infrastructure better, and this also goes hand in hand with what we need to do in the county to make things better to bring people in. So safety is paramount. I'm also in the fire and safety business. I've worked very closely with companies like Roman Haas, where they have an extensive safety programs. Learned about things like a levee, because we have a lot of railroad traffic coming through this county. We really need to pay attention to what we need to have the emergency responses necessary for whatever's coming through our county. We have some toxic waste issues coming through our county. There's a lot of things that need to be addressed, and I will make sure I'm at the forefront of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. David Walker.
The reason I support public safety is this: if my house catches on fire, I want the fireman to be there. If somebody's breaking into my house and my babies and my wife's there, I want an officer to be there. When somebody in my family has a medical emergency, I want to make a call and I want them to come. I want to congratulate our sheriff and our city. We partnered to move and consolidate our 911 call center into one. You had the city, county, and sheriff's department taking 911 calls, and they would have to call make another call. In a medical emergency, time is essential, so I appreciate that. How do I support the volunteer firemen? Real quick, several items. First of all, the county allocates $28,300 to each fire department in our county, above what they receive from their yearly fire tax revenue. Secondly, we help pay for the employer compensation for our firemen. We do that. We set up an account where the different departments can administer funding for responding to the calls for the guys in their department. We have done, the Fire Commission has gotten together, and they do a great job, and they have brought to our board how they're going to go ahead and hold people accountable within the different departments, and they're going to let the county see the official documents related to their finances.
Thank you, David.
Okay.
Lynn Green.
Public safety is paramount to each and every one of us. We have to provide, as a county, we have to provide training and equipment so that our paramedics, our deputy sheriffs, our police, our firemen have what they need to do the jobs that we require them to do. Something happens at my house, I'm just a citizen. But if something happens at your house and I get called out as a public safety servant, I want to know, and I want you to know, that I've had the best training and that I have the best equipment to take care of you.
Tom Fleming.
Well, to me, public safety, the meaning is that the public is being protected from any type of crime, accident, or any other type of emergency. And the agencies who perform this type of service, they're going to have the necessary equipment and the training to perform this. And with the necessary training and equipment, they will be able to protect the general public. And also we need a general knowledge of potential dangers and try to avoid them as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Matt Crawford.
Public safety is very crucial because who wants to live in a county that's not safe? We want to be able to go out at night to our car and get something and not worry about being attacked. Public safety is me. I'm a full-time engineer with the Marion Fire Department. I'm a volunteer with Glenwood Fire Department. I serve as a treasurer and also a lieutenant. I'm also the president of the McDowell Fire and Rescue Association, and I represent the firefighters for the county. I sit on that fire commission with the fire chiefs and ensuring that we necessarily have the equipment we need. The sheriff's office, if they need something, a bigger jail, I'm willing to give it to them because I want to lock the bad guys up just like everybody else. All right, thank you.
Tony Brown.
As a candidate, seeking election for this office, I did take it on myself to contact Sheriff Green and William Keller and several of the guys in the fire departments, and I went around and made a tour of their facilities and looked at what they had, tried to understand and see the needs that they have. There's always tools that are needed with each and every one of these departments. I served for 10 years as a volunteer fireman myself, and I do understand the needs. I'm a friend to the emergency medical services and fire and rescue and sheriff's department. I'll always be a friend to them, and I'll always try my best to uplift them and see to their needs. Thank you.
Thank you. This question is for David Walker. McDowell County has one of the lowest property tax rates in the state. As a county commissioner, is there a situation where you would vote to increase taxes? Do you think voting to accept reevaluation is a tax increase? What additional thoughts do you have on the current tax rate?
I will address each one of these questions. First of all, as a commissioner, I've been a commissioner for 13 years, and we have never raised your property tax rate. We lowered your property tax in 2002, 2003 from 63 cents down to 55 cents per $100 valuation, which is a decrease of 8 cents. So I'm committed to maintaining a low property tax rate and still provide quality services that are needed within our county. And you've got a record, you can look at it, and it's there. I will continue to support that. Our county manager came to me during the last reevaluation process. He said, I'm thinking about raising asking the board to raise the property tax rate by a penny. He said, are you in favor of that? I said, no, I'm not in favor of that. I said, let's see what we do in-house first, and then we'll discuss it if the need's still there. Would I ever raise taxes? That's a loaded question, but we would have to have a hurricane, earthquake, natural disaster of a magnitude that we've never seen, then I might consider it. The county has built up a fund of 26.9% in our fund that we have available for appropriation if needed. Now, the state of North Carolina says you must maintain an 8% fund balance. So we've done good. We've been good stewards of your money because the way I see it, it's not our money, it's your money. And we've done a good job trying to maintain and keep the tax rate low and provide these services. Second question, would you vote or voting to accept the reevaluation? Is this a tax increase? Well, state law requires us to have a reevaluation. Now, counties can determine themselves how often they want to do that reevaluation. Currently, our board has chosen to go every 8 years to do the reevaluation. As commissioner, when you begin the reevaluation process, there's something called a base rate that is in the schedule of values that the state of North Carolina gives you that you must go by. Now, the base rate during the last reevaluation fluctuated. I think there was probably a 16-point spread. As a commissioner, they were recommending the higher portion of that base rate. Now, what happens, why is the base rate important? You start at the base rate, and then they start adding and subtracting for things you may do to your house. You build a deck, they're going to try to add for that. If you have something negative that impairs the value of your house, let them know, and they'll work with you on that. But I fought, and we got that thing reduced to the lowest number within that base rate schedule of values that we could use, and I'm proud of that fact. Is there more that we can do as commissioners? Of course, we want to make sure that we're always good stewards of your money. And I want you to know, as your commissioner, I will try to maintain and continue to maintain a low property tax rate because I feel that you can spend your money better than government can. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you. Lynn Green.
I would have to agree with David that as long as we can keep our reserve for emergencies, then I would not be in favor of a tax increase. However, we all know and have to understand that one disaster would take away from that reserve in a hurry. So, you know, to just like Dave said, it'd be a loaded question. To promise somebody that you would never vote to raise taxes, you can't do that. We have to make good use of the resources that we have and maintain that so that we can keep those reserves in case of those emergencies.
Thank you. Tom Fleming.
I'm going to agree with Lynn on saying this is a loaded question. However, the only way that I'd actually favor an increase in taxes would be to prevent teacher layoffs. And when we have a teacher layoffs, that would hinder the students from getting a quality education. And as for the second part about the re-evaluation, I think it is sort of a increase in taxes because of that the tax value, what they're going to be taxed for, I believe, is going to be based on the value of a revaluation. However, our low tax rate, a lot of people have moved to McDowell County on account of the low taxes. I'd like to see the taxes remain as low as they could. Thank you.
Matt Crawford.
I'll agree that if a commissioner tells you or a candidate says that they're never going to raise taxes, that's probably not something that they can guarantee. You never know what the state government or the federal government's going to tell McDowell County you have to do. And I hope that we never have to do that, but I can't see the future. I wish I could, but I can't. As far as the reevaluation, you take it for what it is. If you're paying more taxes after the evaluation, what do you consider it? You raise taxes, right? As far as the taxes currently, the taxes dictate the services that we provide. If the services we're providing are great for that tax base, we're doing great. And that's where I'll stand on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony Brown.
Concerning property taxes in McDowell County, the state average is about 68% right now, and here in McDowell County, it's held down to about 53%, and I think that's pretty good. To raise taxes, you know, I would say here today that I would exhaust every idea possible to keep from raising taxes. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't be in a position sometime to have to vote for that. You know, I've run a business for 25 plus years. I know that things wear out. You have to replace them, you know, in the same way in the county government and maintaining our county, there's going to be things that we're going to have to spend money on. And our taxes have been held down for 10 or 12 years, you know, without increase. And so, you know, it's inevitable that it will happen, you know. But I do know this. I also know that 1 cent of tax money generates about $300,000 in real money. And you know, keeping that in mind, we could, if we had to have a tax increase, you know, maybe it wouldn't be much, and maybe it would help us a lot.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Jake Asta.
Thank you. Ronald Reagan demonstrated to us about keeping taxes low to keep the economy stimulated. We run into the same thing. As businessmen, our margins get tighter and tighter, especially when gasoline prices are out the roof. I saw 360, something like that today. We're having a tough time keeping our prices down on the retail side. So keeping taxes low really helps. And actually, some of the margins for some of the businesses are so tight that if you were to raise the taxes, they might not be able to make it. So we have to keep all that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Mr. Green, this is your 3-minute question. Over the past several years, McDowell County has lost good paying jobs linked to the furniture and textile industry. Many people say those jobs were replaced with lower paying customer service jobs at retail establishments. What should the county commissioners be doing to help replace the jobs that paid at a higher rate? Do you think the current board is addressing this issue adequately?
Chet, if I was to tell you that I understand everything that is going on with searching for industries and manufacturers to come to McDowell County, I'd be telling you a lie, because I just don't know that. But I do think that what we need to do is go out and, as I said before, we need a committee that their sole purpose is to search for those industries and manufacturers that would like to relocate to Western North Carolina and make it attractive enough to where that they would come here and provide jobs other than service, restaurants and whatnot. You know, you can only eat so much, but somebody has to do the work. Somebody has to do the manual labor. Somebody has to run the machines. Somebody has to provide the goods. So we need to be out there searching for those industries and manufacturers and make it attractive enough to where that they want to locate in McDowell County, and then further train our local people, as we did with the recent additions to McDowell High and to our junior highs. With the school board, one of the first things that we required of our contractors was that they use local help, that they hire local people, and that they use local subcontractors. We need to do those kind of things so that we put our people to work.
Thank you. Tom Fleming.
On this question, I'd have to say yes and no. Yes, because the current board has gone after industries. However, the industries, they only hire less than 100 people. And I think the most of the ones that's come in, they've had buildings which have already been constructed. And I'd like to see industries come in which will be willing to build and become very active within McDowell County. And one of the things that we have at the is a training at the Universal Joint, which could provide a lot of training for these high-tech jobs. As I'd said earlier about the ones that be willing to build when they construct, they have to have a construction crew to come in. They can put money in the local economy 52 weeks a year, just about how long it'd take to get the industry up and going. And then if they like the county so well, there's a strong possibility that they could locate here.
Matt Crawford.
The February statistics come out, and McDowell County is 58th in the county listing of the highest unemployment rate. I personally think we can do better than that. We have to create innovative ways to attract large business, tax incentives in place, we're playing on the balls in their court. We've got to go to them and see what we can do to make them come here. We can't forget about small business, though. Those are jobs that employ 25 to 50 people. That might be your loved one that has a job. Getting people to work is the most important thing that we can do as county commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony Brown.
I agree. Large business and small business are both equally important. We certainly want to try to bring big industry into our county, and that's a dire need. But we certainly can't turn our backs on small businesses. The small business seems has kind of kept this nation afloat for the past few years, and I appreciate that. We have to certainly make our county attractive to these potential businesses that could come into this county, you know, and in doing that, you know, we need to make it attractive with tax incentives, which have been mentioned. Also, our infrastructure, you know, we've got to work on that and make that also attractive to our potential industries that might come in here. You know, the county has suffered over the past few years. You know, our nation has, and I've said this many times. I can remember when, but I haven't given up on it could happen again. So, you know, I'm looking into the future. I'm not living for the day. We're looking to the future and hoping to build bigger and better and greater things for this county. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Jake Asta.
We have to get a wireless. Okay. What I'm here to lead the way. I'm offering my services to lead, okay? What we'll do is we won't reinvent the wheel. Counties all across the United States have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and have gotten this together. We have a lot of talent sitting in this room. We can do this. We can bring this county back, That's what that's why I'm running. That's what I'm here for, okay? So I just hope that you can look at all the people you have here. You have, some of them are your friends, some of them you went to school with. All I'm asking is there's 3 votes, make one of them for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. David Walker.
When you're competing for jobs, first of all, we're in a worldwide economy now. So you're competing against other nations, then you've got 49 other states, then you've got 99 other counties in North Carolina. And I'll say this, I'm proud of the record that we've got as a Board of Commissioners because we've worked hard to reduce our unemployment rate. Just a year ago, our rate was 14%, now it's 7.9. So we are working hard to get that rate down, and we will continue to do so. We don't sit idly by. The job of the Economic Development Coordinator is to get out. First of all, you've got to have the building that the company's looking for. If you don't have the building or the site they're looking for, you're not in the game to begin with. So therefore, you've got to have the right inventory to offer. And then secondly, as a commissioner, we got to focus on the fact that the big jobs, when you talk about big jobs, now, according to Raleigh, 50 jobs is a big company now. We're in a different day. It's more specialized. If you ask the Secretary of Commerce, Sharon Decker, do you know anybody in McDowell County? She'll say yes. Our guys, our chairman's been down there several times, our county economic development coordinators.
Thank you, David. Education is a priority in the current political climate. The county has the obligation to fund the facilities and infrastructure for education. Some parents have asked questions concerning the condition of our current facilities. How do you think the county should address the building maintenance and needs of our school system?
Well, I think the county should do a monthly inspection of each of the school buildings and address every problem that they see. And if they need to, if they require maintenance, then they should go ahead and have the maintenance done. And needs of the school also need to be done by monitoring and meeting with the administrations of each individual school and find out what needs to be done and address and take care of the issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Crawford.
The county has something to be proud of. Back in sometime in the 90s, working with high school, the county got an award for a pay-as-you-go program. And they paid for buildings as they built them. That's how we got some of these elementary schools in play. The county's job is to build the building. The school board's job is to maintain that building. What you also don't understand is McDowell Tech, which is part of the education system, the county's responsible for building and maintaining those buildings also. So it's crucial that we do what we can to help our education staff meet their needs. Thank you.
Tony Brown.
Education has always been a priority of mine, and I remember here a couple years ago, back when all of this was up in the air about doing the construction, starting the new program, I made an effort to go around to all the schools when they were having their meetings and listen in and see where people stood on this. And it's panned out to be a good thing. You know, we don't have any kids anymore that are in any trailers. We've moved along, and we've done some great things. There's about $2 million of reoccurring money available for use in this county, and I think that we want to continue to try to utilize that comes up, that we can use it and use it to help our teachers. One thing that's real important, I want to say this right quick. We need to work on supplements for the teacher. That is something that is an important thing to look at increasing our teacher supplements, so that we can keep our county competitive with the other counties. You know, we don't want the neighboring counties to come in and steal our good teachers and take them away from them. So
Thank
let's work
you,
on
Tony.
that.
Jake Asta.
Thanks once again. I have experience on a board position with a private school up where I come from. I was on buildings and grounds. And one of the #1 things on buildings and grounds is the safety. We have to make sure that our buildings and grounds are safe. What we have is, but the insurance companies aren't going to let you get away with substandard practices anyway. So they're going to be right there making sure that everything goes well. So So I would make sure I have experience. I would make sure that this, I would do our job. Again, I'm here to lead. I want to help you out. I want to lead you all to what we have to do to accomplish all of our goals and objectives here in the county. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sorry about that, y'all.
David Walker.
What I would say in regard to the school system, the community college, what we're doing as a Board of Commissioners, I'll go back in time to 1985. Joe Kaler was the school board chairman. Jack Wood was the chairman of the county commissioners. They got together. Jack, as everybody knows, is a Democrat, and everybody knows Joe Kaler's been a Republican before he was a Republican. And you know what? They got things done. Now, here's what I'm saying this for. They got things done because they worked together. And it's high time that in politics we stop worrying about what your stripe is and let's get things done by working together. But I'll move on. They got together and enacted a half-cent sales tax, which is designated only for the construction and maintaining of school facilities and grounds in this county. So my hats are off to a previous board who had the foresight and knowledge to make that decision. Now, bring it forward to us now. We've got an excellent partnership between our school system. Monthly, the president of the college, their chairman, the school board superintendent, their chairman, and the county commissioners and the county manager get together, 2 commissioners, and we discuss needs related straight to what the school system is facing, our college is facing. That's been an excellent meeting place to bounce ideas off and let each other know what the needs are and how we can address these needs. And we're meeting monthly. I want you to know that. There's no fussing or fighting going on. The school board, the county commissioners, and the board of trustees are working together. Okay.
Lynn Green.
Folks, this is the #1 reason that I'm running for one of the seats on the county commissioners. We have excellent buildings. I know they've got some age on them, but because of those things that were done long before I ever become a school board member, were put in place on a pay-as-you-go basis to provide those buildings and those funds to take care of those buildings. Let's talk about the education lottery for just a second. We don't see a whole lot of that money because what the education lottery was supposed to give us, the state asked for that much back. So those reversions go back to the state. My opinion is that a percentage of those tickets sold, if you're going to have the lottery, a percentage of those tickets sold in McDowell County, that needs to stay in McDowell County. A percentage of those winnings needs to stay in this county, and that be set aside for our school system.
Thank you, Lynn. That brings us to our final question this evening. Had the 7th candidate shown up, we would have asked him that question for 3 minutes. We have discussed this with the candidates, and we're going to ask that question, and we're going to begin on the end, and we're going to give each candidate a minute and 15 seconds to a minute and a half to answer the question. And then that way we get all the questions that we had selected answered. We're a little ahead of schedule from where I thought, which is really good, which means hopefully our second segment will also move forward. Mr. Crawford, the question is, McDowell County has 2 facilities dedicated to the service of senior adults. As a county commissioner, what do you think is the most critical service currently needed to serve our senior citizens?
Thank you, Chet. First off, I visited the Senior Citizen Center, and if you've not been out there and just saw what they do, it's a great thing they do. And the Meals on Wheels program is a crucial thing to what we need. 2 issues that I see and how we can fix them. We need transportation for seniors. But we need to try our best to find a private investor that can do that for us so that it's not a burden on counties' budgets. The next thing that I see, and I'm dealing with my own family, is we need a senior housing development. Privately funded, but we need to try to create land to bring that in there where people that don't necessarily want to go to a nursing home but have that quality life and can live in that facility and stay in the county they love for the rest of their life. And it's a great opportunity in what we try to need to do and working with private entities to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony Brown.
The seniors have always been a very important part to me in this race that I've run over the past couple years. I do have a true deep concern for the seniors and a love for them. And, you know, our seniors are truly the foundation of our county. You know, they're the ones that stood up and made our county strong. They made our county what it is today with promoting jobs and education, public safety. All of those things are because of those people before us. Now it's our time to repay them. I think that we need to look deep into whatever areas we need to look at to find funds, to find money to support them in whatever way that we can. They definitely need. They need a means of travel, getting lots of times getting back and forth to the doctor. I know we have things set up for them at that point, for that right now. But we need to look at that. We need to dig deeper and find out if there is something that's missing that we haven't given them that is available for them. We need to look at the records and say, have we lost something for these people, or is there something else we can give them? So the seniors are definitely a really burden to me and on my heart, and I love them, and I think that we ought to dig deep and try to do everything we can to help them. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Jake Asta.
Our seniors are our gold. We have basically in this county, to me, it really is a retirement community for the most part. So this is one of the most important issues and topics that faces us today. The board will do, with me on the board, I will ensure that if there's money in the budget that makes sense, we will make sure that our seniors are taken care of. It's all about common sense. It's all about leadership. Thank you.
David Walker.
Question has been asked, what's the most critical need for our seniors? I'll say, first of all, would be transportation for the elderly and shut-ins. It's been mentioned already. What you may not know is there were over 8,000 trips out of our senior center related to elderly and their needs last year. The county is currently helping to write a grant which will purchase a new van in which our veterans can be transported back and forth to their doctor's appointments and different things, needs they have. The CHAMP program was started with industry's assistance, and this is to help prevent falls. 10% of all the EMS calls that go out are related to someone who is elderly who falls. So we've done some training, we've done some awareness on the county channel to try to help target that area. The legacy program at the senior center now, we're interviewing 15 seniors a year. We're going to do that till perpetuity, till we run out of seniors, and we're not going to do that. And what we're doing, we're documenting. Doug and Linda was on there this last time or the time before, and they discussed how it was when they grew up, and we're putting that archive in that and putting it on the county channel and let people know we're here because there were people who came before us and set a good trail for us to come in behind. So anything we can do to help our seniors, we're
Thank you,
going to do that.
David. Lynn Green.
I would support some sort of transit system for our elderly. Those that have paid into the system most of their adult life, we owe it to them to take care of them and to pay that back to them. We focus a lot of attention on those that abuse the system. That system needs to be turned around and focus on those that have paid into it and make it easier on them where that they don't have to jump through all kind of hoops to get help. And those that are abusing the system, let them jump through the hoops.
Thank you. Tom Fleming.
Well, the biggest concern among the elderly is the lack of a transportation system. I've heard several comments about that myself. And some are concerned years from now they will not be able to get around and drive a car. They're going to be dependent upon family members, relatives, or friends to take them wherever they need to go. And another thing that I favor for the elderly is a tax discount for them. They have paid their share over in their lifetime in taxes. It's time to sort of shift the burden to maybe the younger people. But we shouldn't be expect them, as I'd said, to carry the tax burden. Thank you.
Thank you. This will conclude our first segment of the McDowell County Republican Primary Candidate Forum. This video is paid for by the McDowell County Republican Party.